Should be live in the Facebook group. Best Chicago Wholesale Deals Live. Should be live in the Facebook group. Making sure my audio is working. So new times we're doing Thursday at I get my time zones mixed up sometimes. So it's Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So there's a new time that we're doing. So hopefully more people can jump on these calls. So if you're in this Facebook group, welcome to Best Chicago Wholesale Deals Live. Basically what we do is we've been going live every week for maybe 4 years now, and we have pretty much have gone on every topic in the group on how to flip and cash flow houses without cash, without getting into debt. So if you're in the Facebook group, you can check out the trainings in the featured section, or you can search, use the search feature if there's probably if you have a question, there's probably a topic I already discussed with the training video. Um, so again, we started a new day and time. So Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central Time, and the goal is to get the reason why is because I was doing them during like 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, uh, get more people to that can watch live, right? Again, my goal is to partner with you on deals. In return, I give you free information on how we're wholesaling properties, how we're doing creative deals, how we're doing Airbnbs, how we're doing deals without investing our own cash or getting into debt. We've done about uh like 1,000+ transactions in real estate already, over close to 3 million in revenue on Airbnb, in managing deals and deals that over 4,000 guests on Airbnb actually. So if you're looking for deals in Chicago market, go to bestchicagoWholesaleDeal.com/buyers. If you have a deal, maybe you need a buyer for, or you need help analyzing, you can send it to us. We can take a look at it, see if we can help you out. If you have any potential Airbnb or rent to own, we do, we're licensed as well, so we can do normal listings as well. Today we're going to talk about how you can start wholesaling commercial properties. So we got quite a few commercial properties that we sold. I mean, we don't do a ton of them, but we're probably doing like maybe about 10 or less a year of, commercial properties, or where it's like 5 units or more. These could be shopping malls, these could be storefronts as well. So today we're going to talk about how you can start wholesaling commercial properties today. And the reason I want to go over this is because we did close one a few weeks ago. We made about 20 grand on it, and we have a couple more commercial deals in closing and what's great about commercial deals, you guys, they're bigger spreads, and they're actually higher price, so you're gonna get bigger spreads on these deals, right? Like one we hopefully have closing in the next few weeks. It has a spread of like 50,000, and the other one has a spread of like 25,000. So today we're gonna go over how you can find commercial deals today, like right now. So as we talk right now, like how do I find them, right? Um so I'm gonna go into I was on my Airbnb. I'm going to PropWire. Let's say that you're in Chicago. So you go to propwire.com, you're in Chicago, and you just go to multifamily 5+, and then you're gonna see there's over 8,665 leads in the Chicago market that are commercial buildings. And if you want more distress with these properties, you can filter. I only want to see pre-foreclosures or probates. You see, there's only 111. So these are probably hot leads, or pre-foreclosure or probate. You can go to people that haven't paid their taxes. So you can go to tax delinquent. I'm gonna go to 2020, maybe go 4 years back. You can see there's almost 1,000. So there's almost 1,000 commercial deals that haven't paid their taxes that could potentially be a deal that we close, right? So how do you find them? Propwire.com commercial deals, you can find them on LoopNet. So LoopNet is like the kind of like the Zillow.com, but for commercial deals. So if you go to LoopNet.com, they have commercial deals, commercial properties listed. So you just go to your city, and then you can see all the commercial deals that are listed out there. And yeah, you can analyze these deals, make offers. But these are commercial deals are I'm going to go through the benefits of doing them versus the downsides. But there's still a lot of them, right? There's about close to 8,000 on PropWire, and on here there's probably it says 500 plus. So there's 500 plus commercial deals available on LoopNet. So that's how you find them, right? So the first and foremost is like how do you find them, right? So that's how you can find commercial deals today. Let's just go here. Let's go to I'm in Chicago. We're looking at commercial deals. This property, 8241 South Marshfield, uh, is a commercial deal that's behind on their taxes because I filtered by tax delinquency. So this property is behind on their taxes. And we can see who the owner is, Geraldine C. And she owns quite a few properties. You can see she owns 11 properties. So she might want to sell other properties as well, right? So basically, you go to True People search. We're gonna put her name. We're gonna put her address, her mailing address of the city that she's in, and see if we can find her. Maybe if I take off the middle initial. So she is not, there was no profile here, right? So sometimes you're going to find that where you're not going to be able to find the owner, and what do you do in those situations? So if you know this person is, you can even try to skip trace off of PropWire. You know, if PropWire charges about 10 cents a lead. If you can't find them on True People search, you can skip trace them there, or find someone on Fiverr that uses TLO skip tracing. You can skip trace there. But another good option is just to mail the person, right? Like this is not that hard, right? Like direct mail, everyone seems to be kind of scared about it for some reason. Listen, like I have her name, I have her address. So what I'm gonna do is I have a printer over here. I'm gonna, take a piece of paper. I'm going to share my screen. Stop. So what I'm gonna do is take a piece of paper here, printer paper, and I'm gonna write on it, hey, we're investors looking to buy properties. And then I have envelope, I have stamps. I'm just gonna put this in the mailbox tomorrow morning, right? So you can take a piece of paper, write on it, or if you want to uh have a pre-made one and you can just copy it over and over again, you can do that as well. Or handwrite them, right? Like if you can't get a hold of the owner, like you can't skip trace them, let's say you pay for PropWire skip trace for 10 cents a lead and they still can't get the phone number, send a direct mail, right? Why not just send a direct mail? Like we couldn't find them on True People search. Another thing you can do is do the address search first and then try to find the name, see if that pops up. So I search by name. Now I'm going to do address search, and I'm not finding that name. Maybe here we go, Donald E. So this might be the husband, right? Or could be the son. So that they have the same last name. So this one I could probably call, right? We have their phone numbers. We have quite a few. Usually the landlines don't work, but usually the wireless phones are going to work. So we have like 4 wireless numbers we can call. We have emails. So basically we're just gonna email them, text them, leave them voice messages, and also if you want to send the direct mail, send the direct mail, right? Like you should be using multiple channels to get these leads, right? And this is what you need to be doing. Like if you want to focus on commercial deals, this is what you need to be doing all day. You got uh properties that are most likely off market behind their taxes you can get right away. Then we have properties that are listed on LoopNet that these are kind of like for sale by owners, but most likely these all have realtors involved. So you're just sending an offer to the realtor. The better thing to do is try to find the owner, be direct to the owner, like we're doing here on PropWire, and then uh, seeing if the owner is looking to sell, right? And this is what you should be doing during your whole time, like that you committed to making offers. You're doing this for hours, maybe you're doing what I'm showing you here. I'm going finding commercial deals. I'm going turn around, finding the owners, calling them, texting them, emailing them. I'm just trying to get someone to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested in selling. And you're presenting yourself as, hey, we work with investors that are looking to buy commercial properties in this area. Are you interested in an offer on your property? And once you have someone to raise their hand, boom, now you want to analyze it and make an offer, right? Let's go over this deal here, see if we can. I haven't even looked at this deal, so we're just gonna try to wing it here. So A421 Marshfield, South Marshfield. So we can see the property. You can do, Google Drive by, see the property from the front. I think it's this one here. Yeah, this is boarded up behind their tech. So this person's probably really motivated to sell if if it's still boarded up. Property that's vacant, not making any money, it's gonna accumulate, taxes and holding costs that are owed. So this person's probably super motivated, right, to get rid of this property. But you can try to find comps on Redfin. Um, and that's the whole thing with commercial. It's a bit harder to comp and uh to get the actual sold comparables that are similar. So typically we go to Redfin, you can go back to sold in the last 6 months to a year, multifamily, and then square footage. This property is about 8,000 square feet. So sort by high to low. So looking at the highest sold comp. So we see one right here, 8,000 square feet, 355 sold. What I want to do is zoom out to get to in Redfin, you're kind of zoomed in 2 block radius. If I zoom out once, I'm at about a half mile. What I'm looking for is similar properties. So this is an 18 bedroom, 6 bathroom. So these properties are not showing exactly what it is. So what in this scenario, you can go and look at LoopNet. You can just search the address to see if you can find more information on the property. A lot of times, if it was listed, you're going to be able to find how many units were in the property. Looking for LoopNet. So this property is off market. And then sometimes they're going to be renting the apartments, and then they will tell you like how many units are in this building. So you can see here this. So now we found it, right? So you guys do a little bit of research. Like this is a 12-unit building. So our property obviously it only has six baths. So it's probably like a 6 unit, maybe like a three bedroom, 1 bath property. So what you're trying to look for is look for exact comps, but if you're not getting it, you want to look for something similar square footage. It is a bit harder to comp commercial properties because usually you're never going to get like the same exact comp with the same square footage, the same units. Uh, like this property here is probably too many units, so we can't use that one. 570. And again, you don't have the usually you're not going to have the beds and baths, so you kind of got to search the address, and then it's on LoopNet. Sometimes on LoopNet it will give you like all the details of the property, like the square footage and units. Here, there's no information on this one. And then you can also put the property to do your research on the comps. PropWire is a good to use. Put the address into PropWire, and then you can see. And then sometimes it's going to tell you the beds, baths, square footage, if it has that data. But this one obviously does not have it. Doesn't have the square footage. Here's one that's not. It's a 10 bed, 8 bathroom. So that one is 8 bedroom short. So when you don't have an exact comp, like let's say that we researched all these and then nothing's exact. How do you find the ARV, right? You can actually go back a year as well if you want, and then zoom out to maybe around a mile radius. Just make sure you're trying to stay in the same like neighborhood and find more comps. Here's a 12 bed, 8 bath. So this one is pretty comparable right here, 570 after going a year back. So I got one maybe decent comp here. 66, 520. This one might be, it is a lot smaller, but it did sell for a lot, almost 500. So we may be able to use that one. And again, like when you're doing these commercial deals, you're most likely not going to find exact comps. Here's one 12.6. So this is only 6 bedrooms short shy, right there, 462. So that's a decent. So now we're kind of getting, you know, a little average here. So we got one at 570, one at 520, one at 462. Um, but what I want to talk about is like if I didn't find any of these comps and there was nothing exactly similar to the property that we have. If that's the case, what you want to do is you want to go by price per square foot. So let's say that, I couldn't find anything close or similar. You can do price per square foot. What that means is you take the three highest the highest comps you can find and you price per square foot. But what I like to do is go to the lowest. Like if I'm in multifamily, I'm looking at the lowest solds in the whole neighborhood, and I'm looking for commercial property like with maybe 5 baths or more, and seeing like what is the lowest solds going for, right? And you can sort this by baths. I'm gonna put 4 plus. So usually like anything under 4 units and under is still residential. Everything over that is commercial. So this one says 21 baths, but that can't be right. So you got this one. You got this one, could be a 6 unit building. This one here. So what I'm looking to do is get the uh either the price per square foot, or you can do it like a per unit basis, right? So we can look at this property here. And it says that there's only 3 units in this building, so that's not a commercial. Let's just use this one example, right? Just for sake of time. So this property is I'm trying to find the number of units you should sell if you go in the property details. So this is a 4 unit, but if you do price per unit, so if you got this sold for 462, right? So you divide that by four. So 115 per unit is like what the max commercial properties are selling for, right? So 115 per unit is what the max price they're selling for. Let me close my door real quick. So I'm just using this one as an example. So let's say we get three or four and they're all about 115, 110,000 per unit, then I can get my average, if I have 110,000 per unit times this our property that we have is 6 units. So my ARV could be around 600 and 110,000 times six could be around 660,000. So there's number of different ways to comp commercial. The best way is you get the exact comps or similar, like what we got here. We got a 12.6. We got a 6.6, and then we got a 12.8. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they have the same amount of bats, and it's probably almost the same. It's the closest thing you can get to it, right? So you're trying to get the closest thing you get. So the best thing to do is find the exact comps that are similar size, similar bathrooms, bedrooms, similar square footage. That's the best thing to do. If you can't find comps, which a lot of times you won't, is to do the price either per square foot or per unit. And to do price per square foot, that's a little bit different as well. So this property, let's just use this one as an example. So this has 6,604 square feet, right? So if you take 462,000 uh divided by the square footage, 6,600, we have about 70 bucks a square foot, right? So you take your so let's say you take three or four properties, and you get about average 70 bucks a square foot. So if you take your property, our property is 8,128. So we take 70 bucks a square foot times 8,128. So you see the ARV turns out to be 569,000. So those are just a number of ways that you can comp commercial deals. Again, the best way is find the exact comps. You can't find them, you can do price per square foot, or you can do price per unit. The problem with price per unit is some units are bigger and smaller, right? So price per square foot may be a bit more accurate, right? So and again, when you get price per square foot, maybe get three or four comps, um, and they get the price per square foot. You can do either way, right? Like you can do it two ways actually. You can do the ones that sold at the highest, right? So this one, these sold at the highest prices, right? So let's just take this one for example, 570, and it doesn't give me the square footage. So this one would be hard to do because it doesn't have the square footage. It says have the units. So let's just say we found out that this property is like 8,000 square feet, right? So you go 570 divided by 8,000. So we're at $71 a square foot. So let's say we find three or four properties that sold at the highest price point and they all come out around 70, 71 a square foot. Again, you just take your property, you're gonna take your property and then just multiply it by the average square foot that you got. So you take 71 times 8,128, and then we got 579,000 square foot. I mean, after rehab value, right? That's the after rehab value because I'm taking the highest ones. And then another way to do it is take the lowest ones. So let's say you can't find any commercial deals that sold high price points. You can try to find the lowest ones commercial deals that's sold. So if I go from low to high, you can see 210, 250, 305. So let's just say this 210 is a 4 unit divided by four. This is selling at 52,500 per unit, right? Like I said, per unit is I would say harder to comp. I would do the square footage. I'm trying to find the square footage. So it's 2727 square feet. So you can go vice versa, do the lowest sold. So we have it sold for 210 divided by 2727. So what is it? 210,000 divided by 2,700. So this is 77 a square foot, right? So you can do uh where you're looking at the highest sold or vice versa, where you're looking at lowest sold. But you want to basically that's how you get the ARV, right? So when you get the three highest sold, you get the price per square foot. Then you get your ARV. This one it came out to be around 570. And then we can do our formula. Our formula is 0.7%, 570 times 0.7 minus the rehab cost. And the rehab costs they're gonna vary depending on square footage and condition, right? I want to wait a second. I X out of the property. So I just want to go over that. So let's say, let's just like this deal example we're doing now. Um, I just want to go over, let's just use the comps that we found. We found 570, 520, and 462. So we're just going to use the comps that we found. So basically you're going to take the three highest comps, 462 plus 570. And again, these are not exact comps, but these are the closest that we can find for this deal. You add those three, divide by three. So the comparable sale ARV, we're getting 517,000 ARV. And then the second number we need to come up with to do the formula is the rehab cost. So what's the rehab cost on this property? So this property is about 8,200 square feet. And we don't, based upon looking at the outside, it probably needs a total gut rehab. So we're gonna estimate, uh, let's go back to the property. No, this is not the property. But let's say the owner tells us the outside's in great shape, or maybe the roof and the windows are in great shape, and then maybe the inside needs everything on the property. So we're gonna estimate, let's say $30 a square foot. And it looks like yeah, it looks like the brick is not bad. We're not showing the windows because it's boarded up. But you can do a Google drive-by of the property. So 8,200 times $30 a square foot. We got $246,000 rehab. And this is just like if it's just like maybe the interior only needs a gut rehab. So to do the formula, you take the ARV times 0.7 and then minus the rehab cost. So we're taking 517 times 0.7 minus the rehab cost. We're at like a max offer of 116 that an investor would pay. And then if I want to make 10 grand, I need to take that out of that offer. So my max offer is 106, right? To wholesale this property, 106. Um, so that's just a quick different ways that we can you can comp commercial properties. It is a bit tricky, to be honest with you, to comp commercial properties. And the reason is it's sometimes it's hard to find exact comps, and when you can't find exact comps or something similar or close to, you got to try the price per square foot to get the ARV. So that's the tricky part. So takes a little more time to comp. It's harder to comp. But what the beauty about commercial deals is that, you can easily get bigger spreads on these because usually they're selling for usually the ARV is a lot higher than single families or residential deals, and B, usually landlords are going to buy these, so they're willing to pay a little bit more just to get the deal so they can cash flow it, right? So that's how we find them, and just a quick analysis on how we analyze them. Another way is the 10% return on investment rule. Like if you can't even find any comps, 10% return on investment rule is after all expenses, how much do I make per month? So if I make let's say I make $10,000 a month in cash flow after all expenses, just to make it easy. You times that by 12, you're making 120,000, you're making 120,000 a year in profit. And typically an investor would pay, if you take the 10% rule, you add a zero to that, usually, if you're making 120,000 a year, an investor 10% return on investment would be 1.2 million. So typically an investor would pay 1.2 million or close to, based upon this 10% return on investment. Because I do have investors that are like out of state, and all they tell me is I want 10% return on investment, and that's all I want. If you find me a 10% return on investment, I'll buy it, right? Um, and they don't care, as long as they can make that 10% return on investment, they're willing to buy it, right? So it depends on your investor, do they follow this formula, they follow this rule? So that's just another way you can potentially analyze the deals. Uh, So Adam asks, who pays closing costs? We have the end buyer pay closing costs. So we pay the closing costs when we're making the offer to the seller. And then when we assign the deal, we have the end buyer pay the closing costs. Okay. I just showed you how you can find commercial deals. Basically just a quick way how to analyze them. I know it could be a bit tricky. It could take a time for you to analyze these deals, and it may take a little bit longer. Um, But how to find out how much you can sell for is also what we went over. But you also want to check everything on the market as well. So a good practice is look at everything for sale, and then you can go on LoopNet too, and go on loopnet.com and then look at all the properties that are active on the market for sale. And you want to be the best deal available, right? Like if I was to get this property under contract for 106 and try to sell for 126 or 130 or whatever price, can an investor find a better, better commercial deal than mine on the market? And you can see here when I search everything active, I only see a few properties that are, and the cheapest deal is 325. If I zoom out again, cheapest deal is only 235. So yeah, I would be pretty confident if I got this deal for 106 that I can sell it for 116 or even a lot higher, based upon, because there's nothing available here. That is the cheapest deal available is 235, right? So you always want to double check what's on the market. Like, the reason you double check is because if I try to contract this for 106 and sell for 116, and then you go and double check and you see a bunch of properties same size selling for 90,000, 80,000, then you need to be lower than what's on the market. Because an investor will just go in the market and be like, hey, why would I buy your deal when I can just buy the one down the street that's a better deal, right? So make sure you double check, and then that also tells you what price you can possibly sell it for as well. So for example, this deal I may try to sell this for 140, 150, and I'm still the best deal on the market because the cheapest active deal an investor can buy in this market is 235 right now, right? So benefits of commercial is bigger spreads. Usually you're going to get at least 20 grand profits or more on each deal. Owners are all likely investors, so most likely they do want to hear an offer from you. Commercial landlords can turn into management deals. So if you're looking to do property management or Airbnb management, these can be potential clients that you can pick up management deals from. Downside is less closings, less leads to go after. You saw there's only about close to 8,600 in all of Chicago. But if so you most likely will have to expand into other markets and different areas or counties or zip codes or different markets for more leads. Other downsides is really harder to analyze, come up with the right offers. As you can see, I kind of went over that pretty fast, but it does take longer to analyze and come up with a good offer and come up with the right offer. My recommendation is to include commercial deals in your market, but don't focus on them only. If you do, you're going to have less closings. And I do know people that all they do is focus on commercial deals and maybe high-end luxury deals, but they only close like a few deals a year. So I recommend to include them when you're making offers to single family, multifamily, condos, townhomes, vacant land, and then add commercial as well in your market. We just closed a commercial deal a few weeks ago. It was about 25,000 in profit, and we have two more that should close by the end of the month, and it's over 70,000, about 70,000 in profit just on two deals, right? So one commercial deal could be like that's what I used to make at work was about 50,000 a year. So one commercial deal, one or two commercial deals a year could replace your salary at work, right? So you should include them in your in your market, like whatever market you picked. I'm hitting single families, I'm hitting condos, townhomes, vacant lots, commercial as well. Again, they're a little tricky to analyze, but if you need help, you can send us the deal and we can take a look at it, see if the numbers work. And and uh and yeah, so if maybe you are someone that just wants to close one deal a year or two deals a year, maybe that's what you want to focus on is just doing commercial. That's an option. People do that. They don't want to do a lot of volume like, what we're doing, closing deals every week because it's a lot of work, right? But yeah, you can close one or two commercial deals a year, make an extra 20,000 to 50,000 a year in profit. And that, if that's, what you want to focus on, right? So that's a good option, right? So if you need mentorship or one-on-one hand-holding, we have Kingdom RI Academy. You can check that out, kingdomriacademy.com. We handhold you, partner with you on deals. So check that out. There's like a 90-minute presentation if you want to take a look at that. If you have any questions, reach out, phone, email. You can reach out to us and if you have any questions, you have any commercial deals you need help analyzing, if you do send us deals, we just ask like, hey, if we do help you and analyze the deal for you, we ask to, you give us the first shot at it through a partnership. Okay. So we're gonna get into really quick before we end here on the Bible. The greatest book to learn how to have success in every aspect of life is every great business leadership principle has probably come directly from the Bible, right? So we're gonna go in the book of James. Book of James is like, if you guys read Proverbs before, it's like the book of wisdom. The book of James is like the book of wisdom with the New Testament. So it's like a book about uh wisdom and personal life and in every aspect of your life. So in James 1:1 it says, "This is a letter from James, a slave of God and the Lord Jesus Christ, and writing to the 12 tribes of Jewish believers scattered abroad. Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles or any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy." Wow. So when you have problems, when you have suffering, trials, James is telling us, hey, this should be a time where you should rejoice, right? And he's going to tell you why. Like, why are we going to rejoice when there's time of struggle and pain, right? And then in verse 3, he goes, "For you know when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow." So the only way you grow is through your trials, through your suffering, through your pain. And that's the only way you grow, right? Like the only way I grew my business is trial and error. I made mistakes. Okay, I'm not going to do that again. And I get better, right? And it says, "So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you'll be perfect and complete, needing nothing," right? So my story when I lost everything, basically I lost, I had a divorce, I got remarried, I went through divorce, was almost near bankruptcy, lost my houses, lost cars, lost everything, and and during that time I look back and now nothing can phase me, like nothing can shake me because of all the pain and suffering I went through the past. So really when problems and trials hit me, it's like, man, I've been through so much that nothing can touch me, right? And that's what Apostle James is telling us here is like, hey, when you're going through this suffering, this pain, at the end of it, you're going to be so much better, but you have to learn to grow from it. You can't, the worst thing is that you go through a lot of suffering and pain and you never learn from it. You never learn from your trial, right? Like the only way to grow is to go through your problems and learn from them. If you never learn from them, then you're never going to grow. Like in business, um, I learned a ton. I've done a ton of mistakes, like thousands of mistakes and I'm still make mistakes today, right? And that's the thing is like most people don't want to get started because they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to, but you're going to make mistakes, right? And you just have to learn to hey, what did I do wrong and how can I get better? How can I grow from that? How can I develop from that, right? So the only way to grow is to go through the problems, learn from them. And yes, it's good to get other people that's been through the problems so that they can help you get through that, right? Get through those problems that uh were where someone else been through that so they can help you through the fire or through the problem, right? James 1:5-8 says, "If you need wisdom, ask our generous God. He will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking." So anytime you need to have a question, just ask God, right? Like we have so many apps and technology today, you can literally ask God anything through these apps. I don't know if you guys uh use apps when asking questions from the Bible, but I mean there's just a simple app here called Open Open Bible, and there's a lot of apps on your phone, and you can ask anything like what does God say about getting into debt, right? And then boom, it tells you, hey, don't get into debt. The rich rules over a poor, borrows a slave to the lender. Oh, no one anything except to love them. The wicked borrows but does not pay. So you can read everything on what God says about a certain topic. And so you can ask God anything. So today, the beauty with technology is that we can just type in anything like, how to raise my children, right? And then boom, I mean, it has every single topic and verse about raising your children. And should I sue? Is it okay for me to sue somebody, like do a lawsuit, right? Boom, I have every single topic on every single verse on that topic answered for me, like right in front of my eyes, right? So when you're making business decisions in your business and you're asking yourself, should I do this? Should I do that? Um, why not look to the Bible and find that answer? And you can do it, before you had to flip the pages and find it, but now in seconds you have every single answer given to you about every topic that you can think of. And the Bible does talk about pretty much almost every single topic about life, business, everything. And you can find it, right? So ask God, He'll give it to you. He'll give you the answers, right? Like when I was going, I had a business partner that I was considering uh suing, like putting a lawsuit on because he stole $500,000 from me, right? I was considering doing it, and then I just read Bible verse after Bible verse that I shouldn't do that. I should just let him give it to him like a tithe. The Bible says, hey, if someone smacks you on the right cheek, give him your left cheek. If he takes your shoes, give him your cloak, right? So the Bible has the answer to almost everything that you probably don't know the answer. And that's the thing was like, okay, God, this doesn't make sense. Like, I should go after this person and try to get all my money back. But guess what? God is the one that takes vengeance, and He's the one that's going to repay you and redeem you and restore you from the things that you lost, right? In verse 6, it says, but when you ask, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver. For a person with divided loyalty is unsettled as a wave of sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. So this is like shiny object syndrome, right? Like, oh, I see this guy, I want to follow this guy, I want to follow that guy, I want to follow this, I want to follow that, and you never do anything because you're tossed and you don't know where to go, right? So in business speaking, um, that's the problem in business is that there's so many strategy. There's like 1,000 strategies to get rich in real estate, right? And you can't do all of them. You got to pick one, two, maybe, and then go all in on those two, right? So it's the people that always are spinning their circles are always finding a new shiny object, and then they're going back and starting over. Like, okay, I gotta learn this thing now. And that was me in the beginning too. Like I would buy course after course thinking like, oh, this is the one, oh, this is the one. And all of a sudden I have like 20 courses that I bought and I'm not doing anything because I'm keep watching the next webinar, the next training and buying the next course and I'm buying the courses, but I'm not taking any action, right? So don't be divided and be tossed and torn by every little shiny object that you see. Such people should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Their loyalty is divided between God and the world. They are unstable in everything they do, right? So when you have questions, of course, find it from God first, right? And in business, this is the same thing. It's like if you're never going to commit to anything, you're never don't expect to receive anything. If you never have a commitment to any program or course or mentor or any you don't have any commitment, you're swayed from this to that, doing this and that and always going back and forth, don't expect to receive anything, right? You're not gonna no business is gonna be successful like that. And my story, I was a lukewarm Christian most of my life. And I was just like, man, I just started reading the Bible, and all of a sudden, like, man, this has the answer to everything. Like, this is what I've been looking for. And I think that should be for all of us. Is like, man, we're always looking and searching for the answers, we're always searching for truth. And all of it's like right here in the Bible that we have access to on our fingertips, on our phones, that we can get the answers to everything. And James 1:9, it says, believers who are poor have something to boast about, for God has honored them. And those who are rich should boast that God has humbled them. They will fade away like a little flower in the field. The hot sun rises, the grass withers, the little flower drops and falls, and its beauty fades away in the same way. The rich will fade away with all of their achievement, right? And Jesus talks about this in the Gospels. He always says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." So the poor in spirit means like you realize that God is the owner of everything and you don't own anything, and he wants you to humble yourself and realize that, hey, even the air I breathe is not mine. The money I made in my bank account is not mine. It's God's, right? Everything is God's. And that's how he wants you to come to him. He's like, come to me poor in spirit, realizing that everything is a gift from me. Everything that you have is not from your own doing, but is because God blessed you with everything around you. Be humble, realize everything you have comes from God. It's like how can someone with nothing rejoice, always be happy, and then there's other people that have everything and they're so depressed they kill themselves, right? Like we see it all the time on the news, like celebrities, right? It's because they don't humble themselves and realize that everything comes from God. And humbling yourself, humility is thinking about like others before you, thinking about God before you, thinking about not your selfish needs, but the other person's needs, right? So, and that's a key trait in business. Like, if you want to have a successful business, you need to be humble, thinking about others, thinking about your clients, thinking about how you can serve them, how you can be better, right? So go in business being with a humble spirit, right? In humility. And someone said like uh everyone you look at always look at them with that they are you're not better than them, that they are better than you. And for me that's hard, right? The Bible talks about don't show favoritism, don't because someone is rich and has money, you show favor to him over the guy that's on the street that's poor, right? And that's something I think we all struggle with. But that's called being humble, right? Like don't show someone partiality or favoritism, right? And be humble and put everyone above your needs, right? And that's the key, like the Bible talks about humility, humbleness, almost every book in the New Testament. And that's the key in business is realizing also that you don't know everything. Like humble people keep learning, keep growing because they realize that, hey, I don't know everything. And the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know, right? Humble people are always trying to grow and get better so they can uh serve their clients better, so they can be a better person in society, right? So humble people are always thinking about how they can grow and be better and serve people and love people, right? So have a humble spirit, a humble attitude in business, and that's going to take you a long way. The people that are opposite of humble are the ones that think they know everything, the ones that are, judgmental and if you think you know everything, you're never going to grow, you're never going to learn, right? So I'm always learning, I'm always growing, always still to this day reading books, still to this day reading, buying real estate courses all the time, trying new programs all the time, because I realize that I don't know everything, right? And that's the attitude you should have in your business, always continually growing and getting better, right? So awesome. So we're gonna end here. So we're gonna go live in the Kingdom Mara Academy Facebook group in a few minutes. Um, so new time's gonna be every week, Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, Best Chicago Wholesalers Live group, and then 7 p.m. Central in Kingdom Mara Academy group, the membership group. So I just want to thank God for all his blessings, just giving us his word, just giving us uh just everything that we have is a gift from you. So we thank you for the food we eat, the water we drink, the clothes we wear, and we just ask and pray for your wisdom, for your knowledge to uh take over our minds and not just know it, but do it and be doers of the word and not just hearers of the word. And we ask for your blessings and favor over our businesses, over our finances, over our families in Jesus' name. Amen. So we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully this is a better time for everyone. God bless.